everything was cash, cash, and more cash. So they denied this contract being submitted, the second contract, whereas he was only going to pay $13,000 down. And that same $13,000 was what I got assessed in attorney's fees.
How about that?
That seemed to be
reimbursed.
Exactly.
Yeah, they got reimbursed.
So he didn't pay anything down on the land then. He paid nothing down on the land.
Yeah, your money went to his.
My money went to his down payment. But he lied on the witness stand and said it was going to all be cash. And here was his second contract, which the judge had denied to be allowed to be drawn into the trial, that said he was going to pay $13,000 and finance the rest of it, which would have been $47,000 he was going to finance. So ironically, I wound up paying the $13,000 attorney's fees that would have been the down payment on the land.
Yeah.
Because not many young people, which he was, at that time he was 28 years of age, he's now 31, not many young people have $60,000 in their pocket to pay down on property, do they?
Yeah.
But he also had, when he had the land surveyed, 20 acres. He had two different surveys, 20 acres and 5 acres. Well, he was going to pay for the 5 acres, see, and finance the 20, use the 20 as to finance the rest of his house, I guess his house, or the rest of the property. That was what I was thinking. Or else he did it for logging purposes, whatever. He might have done it for logging purposes
Has
too.
he logged the land at all?
Not yet. But I'm thinking that the reason he hasn't done it yet is because his attorney advised him to give a little period of grace there. Because I'm sure he's going to. I'm sure he's going to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But the attorney probably wants to protect him from getting his tail beat, you know, in case you come out on top of this deal.
I do want to sue him, but I have to find an attorney to sue him is the problem. Not many of them will come to Wood County. Not many of the lawyers in Tyler will come to Wood County. And Mr. Voberding, when he took my case, he said he had just lost a case in Wood County. Well, that was 2 cases right there in a row he lost in Wood County. Well, he knows, Mr. Voberding agreed with me that, you know, there is no justice in Wood County.
Well, and him coming to Wood County would probably, you know, since he's already lost a couple, he probably, you know, that would be the third curse.
Yes, yes.
He probably can't do business in Wood County.
That's right.
And win.
That's right. That's
just
what.
Because of who he is.
That's right. Because the ex-sheriff's deputy that I talked to, he hates all this regime. He calls them the courthouse gang.
Yeah.
The courthouse gang, and he said, you know, that's why they can't get anybody to run against the judge, is because all of the young practicing attorneys know they will starve to death. If they go run against him in an election year, like today, he was up for election this year, and there was nobody to run against him, so he was automatically.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So he needs to like
yes.
a heart attack or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So it was very sad that they couldn't get anybody to. None of the young attorneys will run against him, but they're trying to make a living, and there's no way they could make a living running against him.
You're right.
But he was in business with this. With the plaintiff's attorney, he was in business with him for I'm not sure how long, but it was they say it was very obvious that, you know, he could have recused himself.
Yeah, and should have recused.
But he should have recused himself.
Right, exactly, because he was too well connected to the case.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it was very obvious from everybody in the courtroom that the attorney made all the decisions. The attorney told the judge what to do. The attorney, matter of fact, what got me, and I knew there was no point in having a trial. The judge turned around and said to the plaintiff's attorney, said, well, what's up next? You know where this is headed better than I do. Well, I knew right then and there I didn't have a chance.
Can you get the transcript from the trial?
I have the transcript.
You do have
I have the transcript. I do. That's how I know that the plaintiff committed perjury more than 50 times. Yes. But I have to prove, but I can prove 3 times, and my friend that's an attorney says you only have to prove 1. But I cannot get the courthouse up there to even take any charges of perjury. They just give me a deaf ear. They won't help me in any way. None. I have written every authority, every legally elected representative in Wood County, and they will not help me in any way. Not the sheriff's department, the city, the district attorney's office said, I said I would like to file perjury charges against these people, and she said, well, we don't take care of that. The Quitman Police Department does this. And she said, you know that the courthouse is in Quitman, don't you? Well, of course I knew the courthouse was in Quitman. So I called the police department. They said, "Oh, we don't do that. The sheriff's department does that." So they gave me the man's name to get in touch with at the sheriff's department. Well, the sheriff got defeated this year. There's a new sheriff coming on in January the 1st.
New sheriff in town.
A new sheriff coming on January the 1st. So I called the sheriff's department, and they gave me this man, and I talked to him. So he was going to do this and going to do that, so I never heard from him. So I went down there. So I went to the sheriff's department. So she said, "Well, he's not here, but you do have a case number. Here's your case number." So when I called him back, he said, "Oh, I can't take care of your case. You'll have to go see the bailiff, the court bailiff." Now, why would the court bailiff have anything to do with perjury charges being filed?
Yeah, no kidding. I don't know.
So he said, "But I can tell you right now that you'll have to get your own personal attorney. It won't do you any good to see the bailiff." But what good would the bailiff have to do? But we noticed my daughter's a paralegal in her own right too. She chose not to follow that path, but she is a paralegal. But she's used to going to trials. She had been to trials during her schooling. So we noticed that none of these things were brought up in the trial, and also that the judge never followed the proper procedure. You couldn't understand him. You couldn't hear what he said. And he wouldn't use the microphone the whole time so that anybody could understand what he was saying.
He didn't want to go on the record.
Exactly. Yeah. We thought that was it too. And then when the plaintiff came to the final judgment hearing, which was totally unnecessary, we thought that probably the reason he came was because they didn't expect us to come, and they were going to try and pull something really bad over on us. I'm not sure what that would have been, but it might have been.
Have you considered going to the state attorney general?
He told me to try to write he gave me the FBI, and then I've turned all the papers over to the Judicial Commission in Austin, and of course to do that you have to give them your name and address, and they have to use your name and address.
Right.
So the judge up here controls everything. Everything that goes through the courthouse, he controls.